Freak Nation, if I was the betting man, I would have said Matt Hagan would have been in here much earlier than this weekend after the Northwest Nationals. Matt Hagan, your funny car winner. First time this year, 59 or 53? 53 funny car wins in the NHRA series. Regardless, he's here in the Freak Nation. And he brought along his friend, the Stache. Dude, you continue to wear that stash, right?
Yeah, man. Well, I think they said it's worth 12 horsepower.
Of course.
Oh, but hey, be careful. The NHRA will come down on you, my friend, and they'll ask you to shave that damn thing.
I tell you what, man, last time I won with a stash on, they drew it on my wallet, you know what I mean? Like, we were up in Epping, and I was just messing around. I had these long handlebars, you know, and I won just kind of playing around. And they're like, well, you got to do it again, you know? So the next 3 years I won like that, and it became a thing. And I was like, man, I got to grow this thing out every time I go to Epping, you know?
And now every time you go to Seattle, and then every time you go to Sonoma.
I'm going to have to invest in Just for Men, though. This thing getting gray a little bit, you know?
Oh, boy. Hey, Matt Hagan, was it a kick in the nuts to see your boss, Tony Stewart, winning all these races, but Matt Hagan, multi-time funny car champion, not winning races this year?
Oh, man, I tell you what, I was really happy for Tony because he's had a breakout season. You know, last year we were taking all the sharp objects out of the trailer. You know, now we're allowed to put the sharp objects back. You know what I mean? Like, he was definitely frustrated. But, you know, I think in everything that you do is it shows character to kind of go through some, you know, trials and tribulations and some down times, because that's what makes a good time so good, man. And he's been riding a high cloud right now, man. And, you know, he's doing a great job driving. The car's running well. You know, I think today was the first time that in like 5 or 6 races that he hadn't been to a semifinal, you know, so they got a good job. They got a good group over there. Phil Schuler, that we added to our car, has been a good add over there to Tony's car as well. Leah's, you know, obviously she's boss lady. She's keeping everybody straight, you know, on both teams. And, you know, we just got a great group over here, man, you know, and obviously Mike Knutson, he's been under Dickie Venables for 15 years, you know, and Mike, you know, it kind of got to the point where he said, look, I'm going to be a crew chief, and it's a matter of whether I'm going to be here, I'm going to go somewhere else, but I'm going to start calling the shots somewhere, you know. And so it was definitely a hard decision, I think, for Tony to have to make to allow Mike to become a crew chief and do his thing, you know. But these young guys, man, that's kind of where it's at. You know, Dickie Venables, I've got nothing but love for him. I mean, they've already won over there at, you know, at JR with a DHL car. So there's no bad blood, man. It's just, you know, one of those things where, you know, Newt, as a young crew chief and really close to all the guys, he was like, look, I'm going to take 5 or 6 guys with me, you know, and it's just trying to find that kind of group again is really tough. So Tony had to make the decision to bring and promote Newt from within, and then, you know, Dickie decided to go somewhere else, you know. So I don't think there's any bad blood, you know. I think obviously Newt has been one of those guys where he's learned a lot from Dickie, but he's out here making the calls himself, and he's doing a great job. And Schuler was a great add. And then we have, you know, Alex Conway, that has been our car chief and was, you know, kind of assistant crew chief as well. And those guys are just they're really clicking and meshing, man. So yeah, you know, it's been a little bit longer than we wanted to be here in the winter circle, but at the end of the day, we've got a new guy making all the new calls, and I got to remind myself every time we come to a racetrack, it's a, you know, brand new for this dude. So to be where we're at right now and to be in 2 finals in a row and win this last one, I'm pretty excited about what the group we got going on.
Yeah, I'm glad how you twisted that answer around, Hagan, because at first it sounded like you were just talking all about your boss and, you know, Tony Stewart and Leah Pruitt and this and that. And I'm like, dude, the question's about you. You're the one that has victory lane right now. But that was cool.
Deal over here, man. You know,
Stop
I'm
that.
I'm along for the ride. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
the Mustache rides. You know what I mean?
No, you can say that, but Hagan, you've got multiple championships, so many wins. It was a little bit of a kick in the nuts, so to speak, in having a different start to your season than what you were used to. But the refreshing thing about that is, like you just alluded to, how, okay, my new guys have come together. They gelled in Norwalk. They're gelling even more now. And there's no better time than right now before the countdown to hit your stride.
Yeah, you know, I mean, definitely if you're going to peak, it's going to be at the end of the season. And these guys are doing that, you know, and I think New's got a lot more confident. You know, we've lost some really close races, and I think it was kind of one of those things that was a gut check for him, going like, hey, man, we just got to be more aggressive. And he knows how to do it. So I think sometimes being new, you don't want to smoke the tires or give it away or be, you know, you want to be conservative. But everybody's so damn tough out here, man. You know, like there's no real easy rounds. There's no giveaways anymore. I mean, and everybody's buying the same parts and pieces from the same place, so it's not like you got some great innovative, performance advantage. So it's just like going up there with like your wheelbarrows in a nut and your nuts in a wheelbarrow and seeing how big they are. But so when you say kicking the nuts, I mean, maybe we can get some more wheelbarrows in our nuts.
Love it. Okay, I just want to know if all these guys, they're young, can they shave or can they grow a mustache? I mean, maybe that's what you need, as the whole team stashing out.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw it on the Wally there, and actually, I think that my guys did already put it on the Wally. Look at that. Look, they put
let's
the
see.
mustache up there on the Wally there. Hey, and the ones that can't do it, we'll just get them a little Just for Men. It thickens everything up, I think.
Little Sharpie, little Just for Men. Yeah, you are working that sponsorship, aren't you?
Stick-ons for them,
Yes, do it.
Hey, Hagan, run me through this. When you're on the East Coast in the summertime, we know about, to bring up balls again, it's sweating balls out there, but when you're in the Northwest and you're in Sonoma, as a driver that has to sit in the cockpit for a while sometimes, what does that do to your head from time to time, being on the West Coast where it's cooler, low humidity versus East Coast?
Yeah, it's been tough for me as far as just my eyes open at 4 o'clock in the morning now. You get over here and it's usually like time to get up and it's still 4 a.m. and like you have one, cohesive thought and you're like, oh, I'm up now. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't think about the race car. And then the next thing you know, you're up at 4 a.m. and then, just trying to do all the things out here. So I think after Sonoma, I'll probably get used to the time change and it'll be time to go back home. So guys like Caps and stuff that are on the West Coast, I don't know how they do it all the time, going back and forth and getting used to the time change. I'm thankful we raced the majority of our races on the East Coast, so I don't have to deal with it. But it'll mess with you, man. I mean, people think 3 hours, but 3 hours is a lot when you get in here. And like we ran it at like 10:30, 11 o'clock the other night, and then these guys are up again at 6 in the morning, and the time difference and everything else. So it's tough on our guys. It's tough on us, but whatever we're doing, we'll just keep doing it since we got it done today,
And I can't get off this interview without asking about Sean Reed and really the accident that he had in qualifying. Again, you as a pilot watching things like that, it's got to weigh heavy on your mind, right?
Yeah, Sean and Tony are really good buddies. They got places out there in Havasu, houses beside of each other pretty close. And I think Sean went into surgery today. They're trying to save his finger, from what I understand. He's got a pretty bad cut, and someone said there might be a chance of him losing his index finger. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully these doctors nowadays can get him put back together and he'd be back out here before you know it. But to watch him back into that wall pretty hard like that with no tire there, after the tire had already exploded, I'm glad that he was, conscious and cutting up and giving everybody a mess of, back and forth and just kind of, I guess it could be a lot worse. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you saw Forrest hit the wall, and that was a career-ending, deal for him. And Caps was almost there this year, as far as him hitting the wall, similar to Forrest, and just it's scary. It's one of those things where you go, man, like it remind you that this thing, what we do it with 330 miles an hour, there's some consequences to all of it. You know what I mean? So it's not just fun and games all the time. So we just want to make sure that we're thinking about him and his family, and the lady that got hit with the part that was out there, they airlifted her out. We're thinking about their family as well, and it's one of those things where we just need to hopefully pray for everybody, and hopefully it's all good. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, buddy, we wouldn't hate it if you go out and win Sonoma and join us back here in the Freak Nation.
We'll check back in and hopefully get some more wins. And you guys are always great, man. I remember when I used to come on, y'all had cowbells and all kinds of stuff going on, and I was like, you never know what you guys are going to get with you guys, you know what I mean? So it's always interesting. It's always fun, but it's good, clean fun. We love you guys, and thanks for taking the time to chime in here on our win, and we appreciate all the love that you guys share.